Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. What a difference a new year makes. A year ago, the sky was the limit for this guy with a Republican-controlled Congress. Now what can Congressman Arrington do with Democrats in charge? And a new recruiting focus could mean a new look and a new tone for law enforcement. How women will play a major role in your future police department.
From the studios of KMAC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Services.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, the wish list. And you thought Santa had a lot of wants to sift through before Christmas. A new year means new priorities for all the elected officials that we chose to give the taxpayer debit card to. They all have a wish list that they like to think that you'd like them to spend money on. But the toughest wish list to fill always seems to be in East Lubbock. It's years and years of promises and ideas, but here we are again talking about the same things, meaning a need for real business growth and expansion opportunities that would allow folks who live there to not to have to travel across town for what they need. There have been some baby steps, but who will be the one to make the giant leap forward? For it to happen soon, it would be the members of this Lubbock City Council and District 2 Sheila Patterson-Harris who spoke about it this week in turning the priorities into realities with our Rashay Day.
Some of the challenges are always going to be public safety. I think the plan with regard to community policing is a huge piece to address that. Lubbock is growing, and with any growing city, you get everything that comes along with that, and sometimes that's some form of an increase in criminal activity.
A challenge that the city is taking steps to address.
And the creation of the substations within the communities is a huge portion of that, making it more accessible for citizens to engage with law enforcement.
Another top priority, improving roadways in District 2.
Paving unpaved streets is huge for me. Have so many throughout my district. It's being sure that citizens have a safe way to commute in and out of communities on the roadways.
Harris says some of these issues will be addressed through a long-term plan that focuses on community development.
You know, we just finished a comprehensive plan, the 2040 plan, and a part of that is to develop neighborhood plans to really make neighborhoods better. One
local resident says the time has come.
They're building everywhere else on the west side, and it's time to come back on this side. You know, we're part of Lubbock too, but we need a facelift on even these older businesses. You know, we've been here for 58 years, and we've never had a facelift, and it's time for that.
Harris says she's hopeful these priorities will be addressed this year. The next city council meeting is scheduled for January 10th at 4:30 in the afternoon.
That is Rashay Day reporting. New set of Lubbock County Commissioners have their own ideas for the immediate future. District 1's Bill McKay here to talk about it. Always good to see you.
Well, good to see you. Glad to be here.
New commissioners, new county judge for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
So how different is the dynamic of working with this group going to be than it has been in years past?
Well, we're going to have some fresh ideas, fresh eyes, which is good. You know, to have some new blood come in. County Judge Curtis Parrish has been working hard all week and reading and learning, and Commissioner Chad C. has been in, and he's reading and learning and asking a lot of good questions. So it's really kind of a different level of energy and excitement, and we've got some challenges in front of us, but I'm confident we'll work right through them.
Well, let's talk about some of the challenges now. Give me kind of a to-do list of 2 or 3 top projects that, I guess in a perfect world, you'd like to see done for the county, and or in particular, your Precinct 1 even.
Well, in this year's budget, we've got money budgeted to partner with the City of Lubbock and developers to repave University Avenue from Woodrow Road to 1585. And so it's kind of a public-private partnership working with the developers in that fast-growing area. So we've got money budgeted for that project. Worked with the Regional Transportation Authority, which is our Lubbock Metropolitan Planning Organization, and we got almost $3 million. Our part was just a little over $500,000 to get $3 million to do engineering study on Woodrow Road. Does it need to be 5 lanes with a sidewalk? Does it need to be 7 lanes? What does that road need to look like? So we've got money going to do that engineering and working on that this year.
I hear that from so many people. What's next for Woodrow Road? Why can't we get more done? So the process is starting.
I mean, you know, we can sit down and look, and it needs to be a wider road. Well, how wide? You know, and what does the future look like? We've got new subdivisions cropping up everywhere. So it's going to be as busy as 82nd or 98th Street in the near future. So why, getting an engineer on board at Lubbock County just about a year ago, Jennifer Davidson. She is a professional engineer. We got her from the city of Lubbock. She understands drainage and roads and working with TxDOT and all the different folks. So we're really probably in a better shape we've ever been.
And does that play into the Outer Loop project as that sort of starts to get off the ground and some ideas sort of start to go to work there?
It does. It all ties in together with the construction on Loop 88. That's going to have a huge impact on the feeder roads or roads that cross that loop. And so Jennifer is the perfect person to work with these guys and make sure that what we do and what we build and put on the ground is going to fit perfectly.
How are we doing with the backlog of medical examiner reports with the transition to the NAG pathology labs? I saw we have a new acting medical examiner as well.
Well, he was an interim when we first, I guess, got into the contract with these folks, and we just named him as acting medical examiner recently in court. And so he and many others are working to reduce that backlog. I mean, that's critical. So for these families to have closure to these situations is really paramount. And so these guys are working as hard as they can and getting those cases handled and handled correctly. And so we've got great confidence in the work they're doing, and they're working hard to get us back up to where we need to be.
Is the county more or less finished with the Expo Center project at this point, or is there still some work to be done there before their committee sort of takes control of everything?
It's just starting, really.
Oh, okay.
And so we've contracted and hired a law firm that specializes in this kind of work. They're bond counsel to help lead and guide us all the pitfalls and all the pluses and minuses of the varying levels of county involvement, and to help us understand what's the best thing for this community. You know, what are the voters voted to build it? So how can we maximize what dollars can come in? And so we're taking it one step at a time and very careful with that. So we'll probably have a work session in the near future to roll out the different paths and how we can move and migrate towards getting this built.
Behind the scenes, especially on the city end of local government, there was always some talk behind the scenes that we should do a better job of working together with our county counterparts, maybe even save some money along the way. There's been some efforts to that. I know from a law enforcement standpoint, we've talked about it, and we will talk about later in the show as well. What can be done to work closer with city partners, and is that being done already?
Probably the biggest issue we have at the county, we don't have a public information officer, because we do work so well with them. The TAG Center was the gang violence, the gang task force. We're working with special crimes units, so PD, SO, DPS are working hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. I just mentioned the University Avenue project where the city and the county and developers are working together. So we do on a day-to-day basis, but it just never makes it out into the media. So we don't do a very good job. We do a terrible job of communicating how well we do work together and try to partner to save money.
And that's why we have Bill McKay on the show here from time to time to let us know what we don't know. Good to see you again, my man.
Good to see you, and Happy New Year.
Thanks, and same to you. Let's do this week's poll question. Would you be in favor of your child's school moving to a 4-day school week? You know, they're starting that at Southcrest Christian School in Lubbock this week. Talk to us on our KMAC News Facebook page and on everythinglubbock.com. Click on Talking Points and give us your opinion on that. Straight ahead, changes to the Lubbock City Council's work schedule. And if you're a woman, a minority, or really anyone interested in serving our community in a big way, we're going to spend 5 good minutes with the guy who'd really like to talk to you, Lubbock Police Chief Greg Stevens. Join us next on Talking Points.